Practically since their inception, comic book superheroes have seemingly always found their way into other media, whether that was radio, TV, film, you name it, superheroes have been involved in it. And that, of course, includes video games. But for the most part, it's all been licensed titles, not a lot of which have been particularly good, especially when it comes to capturing the look, feel, and spirit of comics, and not simply adapting the stories. Freedom Force vs. the Third Reich, a game with no licenses whatsoever, is probably the best implementation of those things I've ever seen in the video game form. It's obvious at a glance that the game's look is spot on, but that's just one small part of the formula. What this game nails that other games so rarely even try is the inherent cheesiness of comic books. It takes advantage of its lack of licenses to basically do whatever it wants in terms of storyline and character development. It can go anywhere and do anything it wants in service of its plot without the constraints of what a specific character would or wouldn't do in some other medium. The game also takes advantage of the fact that it isn't forced to integrate into some existing universe by allowing players to create their own heroes, their very own stories. The character creator is incredibly in-depth and a fantastic tool, but for most people, I'd argue the huge number of pre-made characters that have animated backstories and unique voiceovers are probably the best way to go, but it's always great to have a choice. Of course, none of that uniqueness, stylishness, or creativity would make any difference if the game didn't play well. And while that isn't really a concern in this case, it doesn't make the game any easier to explain if you've never played a tactical RPG in the same vein. Perhaps the best way to envision it is a Diablo-esque game that's controlled in a way not entirely unlike an RTS. It has an almost isometric view, and you control your small squad of characters by selecting them and giving them specific commands. If you've played games like Neverwinter Nights or the more modern Pillars of Eternity, the constant pausing and unpausing of gameplay to refine your commands will be extremely familiar. But if you've never played anything like it, the concepts can be a bit difficult to wrap your mind around at first. But doing so is well worth it. While Freedom Force is, on the surface, an action game, and it's definitely got plenty of the traditional punching and kicking that superheroes have come to be known for, what really sets it apart from basically every other superhero game on the market is its strategic element. Lining up combos between multiple heroes and making the best use of everyone's different abilities is absolutely key to success here, and ignoring it will get you killed. So, if you're looking for a simplistic superhero brawler, Freedom Force vs. the Third Reich is absolutely not it. But if you're willing to take a more tactical approach to classic comic book problems, this game does a great job of replicating everything about them, all while managing to maintain its own unique look and feel, without having to rely on existing franchises as a crutch. Every Monday, I look at a game that was released at least 10 years ago, what I would consider to be retro, and I see if it's held up today, if it's still worth playing now. If you like that idea, be sure to subscribe so you can see the latest videos. If you like this video in particular, be sure to hit that like button, and thanks for watching.